Good evening, everybody. It is the Drop Gears Podcast, episode 18 this time. And if you don't know what this podcast is about, we don't know either half the time because honestly, some of the topics are made up at the last minute. Hi, guys. Hope you are doing well. We talk about all things Trackmania and esports and whatever we feel like because it's our show. That's what it be. And typical the opinions of ourselves are not reflective of Evo or blah 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 blah. To introduce everybody here, we got Lime, Shorty, and our special guest SBVille. Lime, hi, how are you?
Hello. Yes, I'm the reason why the podcast started late, I believe, because the Deutsche Bahn trolled me. So, yeah, sorry. But I'm doing well. I'm kind of tired.
Me too.
But fine.
Good. And Shorty?
Hello. I finally got my PC back, which
Oh.
you guys won't see. I mean, maybe you can hear it a little bit. I don't know if the difference between this microphone and the other one is even that big. Probably not, but either way, I'm finally having two screens to look at again instead of one, which is so much better. And I finally have full power again. So, yeah. Good.
Good. And
Yeah,
then
you look HD.
Yeah, you look good today.
Yeah, it's actually my
But
phone.
when aren't
but
you
yeah.
looking good? Am I right? Anyways,
It's a little bit weird because the camera is so far down. Like it's definitely lower than it should be. But hey, it doesn't matter.
it's vibe. It's a vibe. But
How are you doing, Import?
I'm doing okay. I got 8 fillings done today at the
8?
dentist. 8.
Wee.
In just 3 teeth. There were 2 fillings per tooth, and then one tooth had like 3.
What?
Wait, did I do the math wrong? 7 fillings. Anyways, yeah. These front 3 teeth right here, they all got fillings. So, and then I got to go next week and get a filling down here on the bottom right. It's what happens when you aren't able to go to the dentist for 7 years because you don't have health insurance. But we're trying to fix that now. So
Better late than never.
yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, it'll be okay. But let's look and focus at our special guest here, Mr. SBVille. How are you, my guy?
Hello.
All the way from Norway.
From what now?
All the way from Norway, right? Something like that.
Oh no! Already in the first sentence, I'm from Finland, my dude.
I'm teasing.
Unlucky, Import. Unlucky.
No, I'm doing great. I'm doing great though. No, it's close enough. We're neighbors, you know. And to be fair, I was in Norway like half a year ago, so it's pretty close at the end of the day. Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to join you guys.
Yeah.
Glad to have you here.
Now, to be fair, SBVille doesn't have the stereotypical Finnish accent, so
that's probably true. We call it rally English in Finland, and it's quite the gift that I do not have myself.
So yeah, but yeah, so happy to have you here. I mean, we have a couple things planned. Maybe we'll talk about some Kacky stuff. I'm not getting canceled today, Sir Darklight. It's not happening. But yeah, we'll maybe talk about some of your Kacky maps that you've recently gone into. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about Kacky since we already did that earlier. And then maybe we'll talk about your role in XPEvo and delve a little bit into that towards the end. But for now, I guess we're going to focus on the Trackmania World Cup. It was the information regarding the World Cup was just announced literally 2 days ago. Yes, 2, 3, 2. Yes, math. July 18th. That's 2 days ago. And most of the information, from my perspective, is not a surprise, considering I kind of already had a insider knowledge of kind of what was happening because I'm running an event and I got to make sure that my event's not clashing with this event. But yeah, I think the biggest thing that was kind of I would guess say the most talked about portion of the event was the wild card and how interesting it is because of the draft that is going to be happening as well. And yeah, Lime, Shorty, SBVille, up to you guys. Who wants to start first? But have you guys read all this? Do you know what's happening? Like, what are your thoughts? If you do, don't dings booms.
So I did read the announcements, but I didn't read the rule book, so I'm not 100% sure of how everything's gonna work. But I did look up the draft because it's not really explained in the announcement. So I was looking at it from the rulebook, and basically, if I understood right, it's a system where when you get to, I think, the top 16, there's going to be 4 groups, and the 4 best seeds at that point will be able to choose their opponents one by one. So the first seed will choose their first opponent, then the second seed, which is on the second group, will choose their preferred opponent, and so on, if I understood it correctly. So it sounds like an interesting system. I am kind of wondering if it will, like, it depends a lot on the maps, right? Because we're seeing this new map today with this Micro Machines camera. So if the rest of the map pack is as wild, maybe it's gonna make a difference. Maybe you can pick opponents that you think you'll do really well against on certain maps. But I feel like the seeding will probably, like, automatic seeding would probably be very similar to chosen opponents. I feel like if you see that someone is doing really badly, not really badly because they get to top 16, of course, but like if you see that someone is on like the 5th seed or something, like obviously you wouldn't pick that person as your opponent. You wouldn't really want that. So I feel like you're still gonna go from like bottom up. You're going to choose from the players who are performing the worst up until that point. So it's going to be interesting to see the rest of the map pack and see how this actually affects everything. But apart from that, it seems relatively like standard, similar to what we've been used to. But there could be something I've missed as well. We'll see.
Yeah, I definitely did not read that before, but the draft system sounds very interesting. I mean, it doesn't sound bad. I just share the similar opinion with Vida that it's probably not going to change much, because ultimately you're gonna, like, if the good seed is the one that decides it, obviously they are always gonna pick the lower seed. Like, usually they're gonna pick the lowest seeds, which is what they would have played anyway, because you want to try and pick the opponent that is the worst. So we will see how that turns out. It's not bad. We will see how it works in practice, I guess.
I had no idea about this, to be honest. It was released when I was working, so I haven't checked anything for the past 2 days. I don't know. Just one question, because it says that the wild card goes from September 17th to October 8th. It won't impact XPEvo, right?
So there is a day where Group E to H plays on the 24th of September at their first. It's the semifinal and the final of those groups. And it is the first semifinals are played at 5 p.m. and the next portion is at 7 p.m. I think, or or 6 p.m. But I have spoken to Softy twice already. First time for way before this was announced. And they said they will adjust the times. And then again, after this was announced, he said he will adjust the times. Whether that happens or not, I don't know. But our event is an Nadeo sponsored event. It'll be really awkward if there was a conflict, but I know that if there are people attending our events, they're going to force whoever they have to play to delay until the event is over. So that's all I know for now.
Yeah, it's kind of a boomer.
And for those who attend our event and have to play still, the PCs will be available to them to use. So I already have that.
Didn't you even say they have, like, you're gonna give them a special room or something?
Well, I don't know if it's going to be a special. I don't think it's going to be a special room, but it'll at least be in a kind of like a quieter area. Like I'll section off an area if I have to let them play their matches in peace. So
All right. Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of hard because it's a open. Both floors are kind of open air, and the closed in areas are VIP areas. So I'm not still sure how the logistics of that are gonna work out fully, but yeah. As far as the wild card thing, I don't know. I think it's good that they're moving away from the Swiss system. I think the Swiss system is kind of not useful, especially when you have this many amount of teams. I think groups is much more suited, but at the same time, it's like I don't know how it's gonna go. I have to see it to see how it's gonna work out, but I would assume the groups are gonna work better than forcing Swiss, where everybody has to be available for like 6-hour blocks to play all their matches. Because that's not fun. It wasn't fun for the promotion tournament series when Evo Pink was in there, where we had to basically sit in there for 6 hours. Because we went all the way to like 2 and 3. We had to play all 5 games because we were in the very last group to try to get into the top 8, and it didn't work out. But we basically had sat there for 5 to 6 hours trying to play matches, so it wasn't enjoyable by any means, and it definitely burned out the players. So hopefully this solution of theirs works, and the flexible schedule and everything works as well. We'll see.
I kind of like the Swiss system just on paper, if it doesn't result in elimination. So if it's only used as like a seeding method, so
Yeah.
you play the Swiss stage and then you go into like a double elimination bracket and no one gets eliminated before that. I think
like
for
that.
that kind of stuff, it works pretty nicely. But yeah, it's really awkward if you eliminate, like, I don't know how it works here exactly or how it worked in the past in Trackmania, but
it was
if you eliminate
elimination
like
promotion. Swiss was used as elimination promotion, and it was going to be the same exact way. So
yeah, I think like eliminations from Swiss just feel weird to me. I think it's nice if there's like a proper bracket system for eliminations. Usually, of course, like when they're doing this kind of like pretty big tournaments and like they need to account for all kinds of different time zones and areas and stuff. They also need to, I guess, kind of compromise with what takes like the right amount of time and what's the best for players and viewers as well.
I think what you like mean. I think like a Diablo, not a Diablo, Dota 2 style format, or at least back in they did it previously. I don't know if they still do it now, but essentially they use Swiss bracket as seeding, and then they did a double, which seeded into a double elimination bracket where the losing record teams were already in the losers bracket and the winning record teams were in the winners bracket, or maybe with a round bye. So that would make sense to me as well.
Yeah, I think how they did it, if I remember right, is that like there would be 16 teams and was it 16 or was it even more? But I think only like a fraction of the teams would even start in lower bracket. There was like 4 teams that started in the lower bracket of the double elimination bracket, and then everyone else just seeded to the upper bracket. I'm not a fan of the TMGL playoff system where only 2 teams start from the upper bracket. To me, that's kind of wild. The advantage is like so massive, and then you combine that with the winner of the upper bracket match with who take the 3 best of 7 in the grand finals, and to me that just seems like imbalanced. I think like it makes sense, like it's fair in the sense that if you perform well in the normal the regular season, then you get the advantage, but it's just like not proportionate. And I think it also makes it weird for for viewers as well, because they get to see like essentially like less Trackmania at the end of the day, because when you start from the lower bracket, of course every match is important, but they're also like shorter matches, and yeah, I'm just hoping that what they figure out for the World Cup is like a way to build storylines through the tournament, so it doesn't feel like some team just suddenly jumps up to the like winner bracket finals or something. But it's rather that that you have this sort of like balance and storyline where teams can like underperform a little bit in the beginning, but still race to the top at the end. I think that's one of the greatest things about esports are the like stories where a team has like a really bad first day, but then they rise up and they win everything. I think that's like one of the coolest things that can happen. So I hope that with this system, it's also going to be possible.
Okay. Yeah, I think so too. Sorry, I got distracted because I saw a tweet. I'm sending it to Chris.
I mean, what you said with
Chris will put it out there, but,
TMGL, I mean, I kind of agree. I think one main problem is that you don't really have a lot of teams, and if you don't give them any advantage at all, like why would you even have a group stage then? Which kind of screams more teams, which is a rumor that I think all of us have heard, that Nadeo and TMGL specifically is probably going to go from 8 teams to 10 or more, which is not confirmed. Like nothing about it is confirmed, but it's a rumor that's going around, which in my opinion would solve that issue a little bit with the high advantage, because then you can make the pre-seedings a little bit better. And I think the main issue that I actually had is the fact that you have a best of 3, and the winner bracket final already, like the winner bracket team gets already like 1 out of 3. Like if it's 1 out of 5 or 1 out of 7, sure, give them that, they deserve that. But 1 out of 3 is so stupid, because then you have like, you get one, you either watch one match, they win, it's over.
Yeah.
What a final is that?
Yeah,
and the likelihood
exactly.
of that happening is pretty high, because they are the favorites. They are already the favorites, and then you give them one third of the match already, or like 1/2 even.
Yeah,
too
it's
much.
it's really just comes down to lacking like the storyline in the finals. Like you have these crazy battles in the winner, like loser bracket final and stuff, and then the grand final is just like, you know, you just it just ends.
Yeah, that's really sad. That's the main thing that annoys me. Like I don't mind that, like the fact that they only have like 2 matches, the top teams. It's a little bit, yeah, I don't know, but it's only 1 match less than the other teams, I think. Is it 1 match less, 2 match less? But you just simply don't have a lot of teams, so having it just kind of results that way. But
That's
then the
fair.
matches just shouldn't be that short, especially the grand final shouldn't be that short.
Yeah, it's just I think it kind of misses the point of the double elimination bracket entirely. When you only have like 1 match in the upper bracket, it's kind of weird. I feel like maybe half and half would be decent. Then you would have 2 matches on the upper bracket final as well.
Yeah,
or the
you
upper
could do
bracket,
that.
I mean, yeah, like something like this. But yeah, I think it feels a little bit like rushed almost. Of course, yeah, like it's about scheduling and stuff as well. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the World Cup. I haven't actually looked at what the matches will be like what the actual format is. But it's going to be interesting if they are experimenting with more new things, because the rulebook did get updated, so there might be something new there.
The thing is, we don't know. Nario doesn't know. They
Hopefully
don't even
they don't
know.
change the rules every time.
They also don't know if it's an in-person event or online only. So yeah, which is very surprising to me, considering we're only 3 months away, 4 months away from World Cup, and they don't even have it confirmed whether it's gonna be live or not.
Yeah, like where are they going to get the venue at? Like, you know, they can't just be like 1 month before the tournament, like, oh, we need to host this somewhere. Like, what do we do? like they need to have everything kind of like cleared up at that point. So, but there
I
was
want
like
to think
end
that
date.
they are actually working on that for a couple months, and then they just have to say to the public, actually got approved and we have everything ready, so you can get the tickets, I don't know, in a month or something, rather than thinking that they actually want to do something, but they are just working on it right now.
Yeah,
because
I mean,
it's a way. Yeah, they're gonna confirm if the event will be held physically or online early August. So
yeah,
in
early
a week
August.
and but I don't know what they mean with early, because
wanna
everything for them is early
So if
something
there's-
and they never happens.
If they're saying early August, it's probably late. I don't know.
I just
I mean,
wanna
we
know-
also got the World Cup information end of May, right? So we probably know after XPEvo.
Like, okay, I just want to, like, how do I say this without, like, being overly critical, and because I really don't know what's happening in the background.
You mean without
Be
getting
over
canceled?
critical.
No, we're not getting canceled right now.
Not today.
How? I'm assuming that obviously the whatever venue they're trying to get into hasn't got back to them. But first question is, when did you start talking to the venue? And the second question is, how are you just, like, you have a confirmation literally 3 months, if that, before your event physically. Like, that's, and if you want a decent production, which at this point is probably going to be ham-fisted and barely put together, like, it's not going to look that great. It's not going to look good. Yeah, for me, it's just like, because I mean, obviously, event organizer also here. Like, when the second I found out Arcadia is not working anymore, I started looking for venues, and we started reaching out to everybody. We had an answer by March, and we had the venue confirmed by March. So, like, for me, it's hard to see, like, how they've struggled to get a venue outside of the fact that it's just poor planning on their end, which wouldn't surprise me because they tend to be very last minute on many things. So yeah, it's like, it's frustrating. It's like you've been building up this world tour this entire year from the beginning of the year, and the first thing you should have done before you even started out with this entire system, this ecosystem, is guarantee a venue for your big bang of an event. Like, each event is supposed to lead up to a big event, and your big event is supposed to be where you have all the guns and whistles, the shiny things, the glitter, the glamour, everything. And you have the high risk now of not having any of that. It's embarrassing. There.
I hope they actually do something presential, even if it's just the players themselves. But if not, it's gonna be fucking lame, And they cannot blame now on COVID or anything external. It's gonna be just them, right? And in the best of cases, hopefully they're talking with Serato or people or anyone, and they already have everything, But
I would have been with Zerator and just been like, bro, help us out. I would have been like getting on all fours and been like, bro, I'll do it. $5 is $5, bro. Like, help us out, man.
You can stream it on your channel.
Yeah,
we'll do anything.
I really would know what. Yeah, I really want to know what the relationship between Adeo and Zerator is, because it just, like, either they just never really tried, or it must be really bad between them for some reason, because that's such an obvious potential, like a potential thing you do, right?
It's definitely
like,
awkward.
look at his numbers; it's insane.
Or it's
I
just
think they
Ubisoft
dislike
cock
him.
blocking them.
Or
Yeah,
the
or it's
Nereo like
just
everyone
Ubisoft.
that is
Could
big.
be Ubisoft.
Because there's one more factor that nobody talks about. They had the Trackmania games ready to announce at the ZLAN which was what, February, March this year? They had the Trackmania games for next year announced by the French president, Macron. And they had that planned over a year ahead of time, but they don't know now, end of July, whether their World Cup is gonna be a physical event or not. Like, I don't know what's going on at Nadio, but the prioritization of things, there's something massively going wrong, in my opinion.
This
There's
is the
something
thing
I
that
would
we've
like
been
to say
talking
about
all the time.
prioritization, but I can't.
I guess if I were to give them like extreme amounts of benefit of the doubt, I could maybe imagine that they had a venue and they've been in contact and they have like everything figured out, but something has come up and now they're not sure. Or maybe there's some disconnect between Nadio and like Ubisoft funding or something, and they're not sure if they can like get it to the physical venue. I really don't know. But then like it's really awkward. Like at this point they should just make the call, right? Like if they want it to be like a successful event, you don't want to rush it. You want to have these kinds of like basics done like at least like 3 months before you need to have them absolutely settled. So yeah, I don't really. It's
also
kind of hard
depends
to
on
imagine.
It also depends on the size of the venue that they're trying to aim for. Are they trying to aim for Zerator-esque venue of like a massive stadium? Are they trying to go for a theater? Are they trying to go for a small studio? Like that's also a big thing because I feel like finding a small studio would be easy. I feel like.
Yeah, I can tell you that if they still don't know if it's physical or not, it's not gonna be a Zerator level venue.
No,
for sure.
that would be
Yeah.
aiming for. No, it's way too big of a goal if they go for like something like Zerator. They have to go for something like a theater, and I don't know. Isn't there was an event that had like 50, 60 people inside?
Last year was World
last
Cup
year?
was at a theater at the Stade de France or Stade
Yeah.
de Paris, and it had like 750 seats, I think. And it was casted by Tona and somebody else in French. So
I mean, just imagine if you had the ability. Oh wait, you do to look outside of your country and see the 15 bajillion venues that also exist outside of your country.
but they don't speak English. They only speak French, Mr. Impert.
This is lie. Their communications director, who we had on our podcast, clearly speaks English.
But
yeah,
this is
but the
Softy
thing is
we're
that
talking
they're
about.
just
He speaks
they're
English
just
too.
lazy. You know,
He's
that
been
is
on
the
podcasts and he
issue.
speaks English. Like I legit. I immediately know of a venue right now that they could have had this event at. No, it's not XPEvo or Experian or whatever. They could have had it at Level Up in Berlin. They could have had it in Stockholm. They could have had it in Norway and whatnot. Oh, I have pizza. And yeah, it could have been at like so many venues outside of France. It just all they had to do was just a little bit, like all they have like, or just like, I don't know, reach out to your community and be like, hey, could you help us? Like, do you know of any areas in your country, in your area, that is a venue that we could use?
That is the thing, is that
Like-
they will reach out the community for some things, and then for other they're like, you know, so hermetic, and it's only them and it's only the French and no one else is getting. And their relationship with the community and everything is just, to me personally, so weird. Like I truly don't get it, and I'm hungry as fuck now.
I
Oh
didn't
my
eat all
God.
day until now, and now
I'm going to
he's
devour
showing
this
his
entire
in
pizza.
the camera.
Also, one
No.
suggestion: Gamax.
Gamax, well,
Yeah, Gamax, yes.
that doesn't have a good viewer area. That Gamax is not a big venue. It is like a very small LAN of like 25 PCs.
It doesn't matter. It has enough for the players, at least. If they really want to have a small person event, they can do it there. Yeah.
Honestly, like if it's about resources, if they just don't have enough people to organize something like this, then just like outsource it, right? Like there are people who would be willing to make it happen. There are organizations that would be able to make it happen. Of course, like, well, I don't even know if it would be more costly, honestly. Probably depends on the deal they would have, but at the end of the day, like, they feel like they haven't even like really talked about this at all. I just saw earlier on Twitter that Valve, for example, of course we're talking about like multi-million-dollar tournaments in like CS, but they're already looking for partners for Counter-Strike majors for 2025. So like they are well ahead of time, just like looking at possibilities. And I feel like Nadio could have probably communicated earlier that, okay, we're looking for like possibilities to make the World Cup happen, and like if they aren't really sure if they are going to be able to pull it off, then just reach out. Like, you know, the community is already doing a lot in every regard, and I'm not saying that, you know, everyone should go and work for free for Nadio, but I'm just saying that there would be organizations that would be interested in doing something like this for sure, in partnership.
Yeah,
The thing
they
is,
are,
all we
but
can
the
do
thing
is
is that they just don't
speculate.
want to.
Mm.
Like
You know,
that's
it's-
what kind of annoys me a little bit with all of this. Like we are all speculating, we don't know what the actual issues are and all the stuff like that. And it's so annoying because it doesn't even matter whose fault it is. It doesn't even matter if it's Nadeo's fault or maybe it's Ubisoft cock blocking them. It doesn't matter because in the end it's Nadeo that are the ones that put out a statement like this, which is just publicly not a good look on them. And I think one of the big reasons, maybe potentially for this, which is also just speculations, is the fact that Hylas, the CEO of Nadeo, does not want Trackmania to be an esports, and he's not liking this. And maybe that's also a big reason. Like if the CEO of Nadeo doesn't actually like doing all of this, then maybe that trickles down a little bit here and there, and he's gonna slow down certain progress, or he's just gonna say, "Nah, we won't do that," or this and stuff like that. I don't know.
Well,
It's a weird look, of course.
Even with not knowing the background information of what's happened up to this point, I mean, there's so many things that you can do to prevent this scenario from happening. One could be the fact that you've already been at multiple venues before for both your World Cup, your World Championship, etc., right? Well, at least for your World Cup. Talk with that venue and be like, hey, let's go ahead and set a date for next year. You're not making a financial commitment at that point. Now, some venues may require you to do a like X year amount of contract where you pay X amount of money to have this venue at this specific date for like 2 or 3 years. I've seen those contracts before. But like all they could have simply spoke to that venue and been like, okay, great event. Thank you for having us. If you guys liked it as well, we would like to go ahead and already plan a date for same time next year with a little bit of flexibility if we need to. Then guarantee that first. Guarantee that venue first, and then plan your entire circuits to lead up to that already decided date. Like,
now that you're mentioning that, it's also seemed like they were setting up the whole dates for the World Cup, wildcard, and everything to go to that point. And then they were like, oh, okay, now that we have the dates, maybe now we can go and search for a venue that could potentially host the World Cup.
Yeah.
And that is not how it works.
Mm-mm.
But that is, now that you mentioned that you could potentially do everything in advance and plan everything in advance for the next year in order to get your World Cup in this day, because this is the day that you have your venue. That is more of a planification that someone would do, but not the other one. Like, hey, we have the dates now, and now that we know when it's the end, let's check for a venue that it's open for that day. And that's why it seems like in the communique they are saying, oh, we're gonna let you know if this is happening or is not happening, because of course, how are you gonna get confirmation in less than a month for a venue.
Well, you typically don't. Otherwise, you're paying a very high price for such a last minute request for a venue. I mean, I just think about how, and whether it's gloating or self inflating ego, whatever. But when I think about how XPEvo was
my
concerned, we had an idea for a date. We heard feedback that third week in September was a perfect time for everybody because that's when they were still in vacation for most countries. So they were still in vacation time. It was right before school. It was like a perfect time for everybody to be able to attend an event over a weekend. And so we're like, okay, great. So Trackmania was 21st to the 23rd, I think. Still same week, third week of September. So that's what we did for this year. We weren't guaranteed ever that date though. We were never guaranteed that date whatsoever. We got it though because we went in early and snapped it up before anybody else did. But it could have easily been a situation like I'm sure it could have been for Nadeo now, where who knows how long ago they got a hold of said venue that they're trying to get a hold of and confirm with. If it's last minute, most of the time venues are booked out 6 months in advance, regardless of venue, and especially on weekends. Like, good luck. So yeah, it's like I do try to give them the benefit of the doubt. I have no idea what happened. A previous venue, they could have had a venue, could have canceled on them. It could have been something else, like bureaucratic system with Ubisoft and Nadeo, which I hear is always a fun thing that they have to deal with. So it's like, I don't know what could have happened, but it just seems like improper planning regardless. Improper, and Lime, the word you're looking for is preparation. Improper preparation for their big shebang of a World Cup.
I mean, I also want to give them the benefit of the doubt, but in the end, all we can just hope for is that they actually do find a venue now, because it's kind of important.
Yeah, I mean, honestly though, we don't even really know what they mean by physical event. It could be like completely without an audience as well. It could just be the players in like Nadeo office and playing the matches. So it's gonna be interesting to follow this in a couple of weeks.
That would be a yikes.
Yeah, that's what I said. Maybe it's just the players and themselves, and that's it, and no one else. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
No, I will say too,
it's gonna be in a cyber cafe.
This is another benefit of the doubt to them. There's something that I forgot to even bring up, which is important. The teams that are participating. Because I have sent VIP invitations to TMGL teams, I know that some of these teams have ridiculous expectations, to put it lightly, which is not putting it lightly, but they have some very egregious expectations of how they are to be treated at an event. For example, I won't name the team, but one team asked...
Can I say it? I believe which team is.
I'm pretty sure I told you both already, but like there was a team.
Okay, yeah, we continue.
Yeah. There was a team that like I invited for VIP, and I was thrown in a room with a bunch of their managers, and their managers said that they're like, great, we'd love to attend. So what are going to be the accommodations for our team? I was like, this is a community event. Like, this is a tournament that's focused more around the community. Yes, we have a main event with a big prize pool, but like, this is mainly a community event. And a lot of there are quite a few TMGL teams and Team CL teams already confirmed to attend. They're like, yeah, well, that's not something that we do, and we don't send our players to attend something. Like, you guys have to provide us the full accommodations, hotel, food, everything. And I'm like, travel, even paying for their travel, like literally booking them tickets to come to our event. And I'm like, this was a courtesy to invite you. Like, I don't have to invite your team. Like, this was just a courtesy to let you guys attend for free. And yeah, they went ham over it, and so they just like hardcore shut me out of it. But like, if that happens to me as a small event organizer, imagine that kind of demand from a, we'll say established, because they are pretty much established studio like Nadeo, where they're like, okay, you want us to come to your world championship, you're gonna have to pay us to attend your events. So it's not just the venue costs, it's also the player costs and the team costs, because there are teams, especially some of those big French orgs.
Yeah, but
That,
wouldn't those
always
kind
a
of things already be
practice.
in the contract that they signed before already? Like that wouldn't be something new at least.
Well, it could be something that they could say out of, they could say like, I don't know what their contracts are too. Like if their contract says you have to attend the world championship, then they have to attend no matter what. But I doubt that Nadeo is that extensive with that with a contract like that. I doubt they would require that. I bet the contract just says you'll participate in the main stage of the event for year 2023, and that's about it. So
I mean, I don't know. It would be stupid to not just go to the, for example, World Cup, because Nadeo is not providing you accommodation and travel fees. Like, imagine you're like, oh yeah, they're not paying for it ourselves. Okay, we're not going. Like, what the fuck?
well,
It's just okay to some random event. Yeah, completely fine. Because if they want to go, I mean, this is also happens not only in the esport scene, but for the people that work within the esport scene, but they are not pro players or they are not in organizations. It has happened to me that sometimes they wanted me to be at the event, but they didn't provide me travel fees, they didn't provide me accommodation, they didn't provide me anything. I had to pay everything by myself, go there, create content, bring people and everything, and then I did not gain anything from that, So I somehow I understand the organization by saying, hey, if you don't provide stuff for us, yeah, it's kind of, we're just spending money on that, wasting money for them, because that is it, wasting money to just have their players there, because they are not essentially gonna win anything with going. But at the same time, you have to put it on a balance, is that you can grow your fan base and everything. But I don't know, it's a situational, and I understand that somehow that they didn't want to come, but being so like condescending and immediately asking you for stuff instead of saying, oh yeah, what can you provide for us, and we will see what we can do.
Let me clarify though that is from the that's not from the players. That's straight up from their management.
No, yeah, it's the management. It's not the players.
Because their players definitely would want to attend, and one of them might even still attend. I have no idea, but yeah, it's kind of one of those things where the management. To be fair, if you're a big org, you have big expectations. I think Team Scotsman in our chat definitely pointed out something correctly, though, that some orgs are just used to this now. It's part of the status quo for them. But it's got out of control too, considering the big bubble of esports, which we had a conversation about in a previous podcast about how esports has become such a big bubble and it's starting to burst, or at least like deflate a little bit, because people are, yeah, it's not big. Big's showing up. Big's actually coming to our event. It's not big at all. I gave the most massive hint earlier. I gave the most massive hint earlier, but
Big is actually, I believe that is a really good organization from what I've seen from them, and they're like, I don't know, you have something to do, they're gonna be there, they're supporting you, they're supporting everyone. Last year when I was at Cologne for CSGO, they were just supporting everyone. I don't know, it felt really nice. But no, it's not them. It's I'm not gonna say the organization, but I'm gonna give a hint. They don't speak English.
Don't speak English. Yeah, that's a good enough end.
They don't want to.
They don't wanna.
But
no,
it's not the players,
Big's
it's the
great.
organization.
Big is bringing like their social media people. They're bringing like a couple
They're
like
freaking everyone.
yeah, they're bringing like everybody. It's like 3 other people outside of the players and Ama, but like yeah, they're bringing people, and then ITB they're bringing their CEOs coming. Like ITB is bringing
Ooh,
their whole
that's
crew.
fancy.
Yeah, like there's orgs like Sinners, ITB, Big.
Is the CEO playing?
Is the CEO playing? No.
I mean, why not? He's
Yeah.
already coming. Might as well just play a little bit as well.
I mean, he could try. He has VIP, so he could play if he wants to. So yeah, but yeah, it's one of those things where it's like I don't know what it is for Nadeo. I hope it works out. I hope they get the venue and everything. I hope it's a good venue, and I hope their production doesn't suffer from it, because it's one thing to have your venue, it's one thing to have your tournament, and what people don't realize is that like running a tournament is one thing, and it does require a lot of work, but the other thing is the production of the stream, which is what everybody's going to see, and that is going to be your big impression of your events. No pressure, SBVille.
Nah, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay, question. If it's gonna be a physical event for World Cup, where are your bets placed for the location?
Paris.
Like whether it's a theater or
100% Paris.
No, of course the city, but a theater. Okay,
a theater like
France.
Yeah, if they get a stadium, I would be shook. Like,
yeah, it's not gonna happen.
They're gonna get a court.
Scotty suggested the courtroom. They can play on the stand. That's what he wrote. I didn't say that.
Man, yeah, I would assume it's a theater or a studio, or their offices.
Yeah, something like
offices.
that, probably. Yeah, sadly.
Maybe the cellar in the office. We'll see.
I wonder. They did. No, wait, that was TM News. Never mind. I was like, there was a thing for TM Awards when they actually worked with a studio in Marseille, France, but like that was TM News. I don't think Trackmania had anything to, or Nadeo had anything to like do with that.
Yeah, no.
But Nadia was one of the sponsors for that.
Yeah,
so...
I mean, yeah. I mean, maybe they had the connection, but like. They did use a studio. The studio wasn't that big though. It was a very small stage. Yeah, because I mean, like for a physical event, this is the things that you have to have. You have to, if we're just going to exclude the audience, you have to have 4 PCs for the 2 teams that are playing. With staging side 1, side 2. If you're just going to do bare bones desks with computers, not going to be the prettiest thing ever. You're gonna be giving off like Smash Brothers at my friend's house vibes, streaming it as a weekly competition. That's how bad that gives an impression of. Then we're talking. We haven't even talked about the side of. Wait,
hear me out though. Trackmania Home Story Cup.
Okay, I told, who did I tell this to? I think I told this to you guys. I had this idea of doing something like the Smash Bros. Community does, where it's called Summit, and they essentially rent out a house and they stream a massive tournament of invite only pros. And I was like, I
saw the similar thing with different games. There was
I mean, other games do it too.
Different games each week. That was amazing.
Yeah, I think they started with Dota, and it's actually really cool because you get to see the pros in like not like a super hype sort of staged environment, but actually they're just chilling. They're you watch the coach who are casting the match, and behind them there's like a kitchen, and some casual pro player just goes there and grabs like a drink from the fridge and stuff, and it's like a very different feel, and you also get to know the players in like sort of deeper way that way, which is really cool. It's a very different thing. And I don't know if it would be like World Cup format, but it would be a cool
Scotty's
format.
writing it already. The nest was pretty similar.
So like the crazy thing is that there's like 6 venues, literally in Frankfurt, that has all that setup, like already set up for you. The computers, a stream room for you to sit at the couch and like stream the event. Like there's 6 of these gaming houses in Frankfurt alone that you could do that at. And I was like, dang, that would be so cool. Anyways, what were we talking about?
Nothing down.
I fully agree. I literally get the Nest vibes of that, because that was what the Nest kind of was. Like, it was invite only. You didn't have to pre-train anything because it was no train. You couldn't train at the venue itself. So not only was it the house kind of vibe, and you could spend your time there. You had no. You had no pressure of like, oh, I have to prepare for the matches or something like that, because you literally couldn't, which was really nice, because everyone that wasn't playing was just sitting outside in the pool talking to each other. The only thing that you didn't have is like a microphone set up anywhere like that. Like you had a small camera with the outside view of everyone watching on the TV outside, but like basically the production value wasn't as high as what you probably imagine, but the whole idea behind it.
High.
No, it doesn't. It didn't. It was a huge success, the Nest. Like something like that, basically, or like similar to that. Like we already had that in Trackmania.
I thought that would be like so cool. Maybe I'll talk to people and see.
Like as a player, it was amazing.
So cool.
It really was. Like everyone loved it.
I think that would be huge for Trackmania in general. Just like to see all your favorite pros like just chilling rather than just constantly like. That's kind of what XPEvo is too. It's a main tournament, but it's also out, especially for those who were at Trackmania. It was a very chill environment. Everybody just kind of chilled and relaxed, and like you met new people, or maybe somebody you've spoke to online for so long, but just met in person for the first time. It's kind of what XPEvo is meant to be, because even though there's an arena, there's a stage, there's a LAN area underneath, there's multiple areas just to hang out with people. So that's the vibe I'm trying to go for, but to have like a more condensed, focused vibe of that idea would be amazing. But it would be interesting to see what Nadeo has cooking.
Maybe they're cooking nothing.
They're burning is what they're doing. They're burning their food is what they're doing.
Speaking of cooking and burning, how was your pizza? Now that I had to suffer watching you eat that.
I only ate 2 slices to like spare you all, but I could literally, if I was not talking right now, this pizza would have been gone already.
Oh my god, I want pizza now.
I definitely am gonna have pizza later.
I told Gecko that I wanted pizza and he said no.
Oh.
How sad.
Bad boyfriend.
Ban him. Tell him you're banned.
Yeah, I can't ban him.
Just break up with him. If he doesn't make pizza for you, he's not worth it.
No.
Are we gonna have a pizza party at XPEvo?
Ooh. Oh. Hopefully good pizza, not like full of oil.
I think if I tell you how I eat my pizza, you'd all just scream at me and tell me that's not pizza. So I'm not gonna. No.
Yeah. Well, all right. So let's move on to our next topic, which is big XPEvo news. Wah!
It's so German. Wah!
Wah! Yeah.
Sometimes I hear that in the metro. And so it's like, oh,
they're like,
wow,
Alter, ist das so geil? Okay, yeah. Anyways, yeah. So the tickets information. Those of you, hello, hi, how are you? Ticket information is available now on the Evo Discord. Just join our Discord, and you can see it. Also, we sent a tweet noting that it's Chris made a 6-part tweet. Look at him. So yeah, we have also a tweet available too about the information regarding the tickets that you all have been screaming for, and that is going to be. Is there other parties besides the after party? No, there will be one after party on Saturday, and then everybody's free to have parties as they wish elsewhere. Sorry, not. Yeah, sorry, but the logistics of having multiple parties is just too much. But yeah,
Even getting venues for parties is insane.
yeah, we literally looked at an esports bar in Cologne, and just for us, like even us guaranteeing like 100 people to show up, they were like, "Yeah, you're gonna have to pay us 11 grand, essentially."
What?
Yeah, we're like, we're gonna
That's
bring
fucking
100
crazy.
people to your tiny bar that barely fits like 60.
No, they said they had seats for like 130, but yeah.
Yeah, we figured at that point we figured we would reach almost their maximum capacity or close to that, and like that means a lot of revenue drinks wise for them and like whatnot. And yeah, they were still like, no, 11 grand, please. And we're like, ouch.
11 grand.
Yeah,
That's
surely.
crazy.
Yeah, it won't happen.
That's more than I have in my bank account.
Was it 11 grand, Chris, or was it like 7K? I don't
know.
know.
It was like, I think we were at like 5.8 plus the 2,500 in drinks or something that they wanted guaranteed.
Yeah, I just
So
remember
like 8,000, I think.
I just remember them nickeling and diming us on their breakdown, where they charged us like 450 euros just to turn on their TVs, basically.
You know what would have been a nice counter argument to that? Oh, so drinks and food is free, right?
Right?
for that price.
Well, I think I remember them saying that beer was going to be free, but like all the other drinks weren't. And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, that's fine by us, we're Germans, right?
Yeah.
Just what else do you need?
Yeah, I was like, wouldn't like they're like, well, your people are going to be taking away actual customers. I'm like, yeah, we're 100 plus paying customers. It didn't matter.
We are the customers.
We are the customers. But yeah, it's fine. So like, at least with the after party on Saturday, the nice thing is that you'll still have access to. It'll be in the venue. And the PCs will still be there. I assume the PCs will still be able to be played. I don't see why they wouldn't be. So like it'll be chill. People can hang out and stuff. I would assume that your food and drink can't be anywhere near the PCs. That would be a smart thing to have happen. But like still though, I think there's a good chance to be able to chill and have fun on Saturday. And Friday and Sunday, the venue will still be open after the events. Like the venue's normally open till 11 p.m. anyways. 10, but yeah, so the people can still hang out late or whatever. Or me be old, go to bed early because I got to cast early the next day. So, cast, host. I'm not even casting this year. That's kind of sad.
That's not entirely correct. You're casting the Dings with Ox.
That's true. I'm casting full speed of the week. There's also a Nadeo event potentially cooking for Friday. So that'll be fun. Import casting Yale? That's not Yale. Anyways, yes, the tickets. Base ticket 15 euros. You can see it in the big lettering there, 15 euros. That's your spectator ticket. You'll have access to the spectator arena that holds 150 people. General public access to the ground floor PCs. There's a ground floor, there's an underground floor. The ground floor is open to the public. So you will so any Joe Schmo can go into the venue right now as it is and just play on any computer. Normally the underground floor is 18 and above. That's where they can play like the more violent video games. But for this event, that's not really a thing. But yeah, so the upper floor will still be general public access PCs. So those will be first come, first serve. But you do have PCs to be able to play on if they're open and available. And they have like 100 PCs up on the above ground. So there's plenty of them to play. And then downstairs, that will be the reserved XPEvo area downstairs for our tournament entry tickets, which is 45 euros, by the way. And yeah, that'll be full access to those players at the beginning of Friday and Saturday. The usage of those PCs are going to be limited to you playing in the events, just because if we have 256 people potentially, which is our max limit for our tournament bracket at the moment, that means that we only have 64 PCs available downstairs. So if we only have 64, that means it's going to be 4 waves of 64 if we have our 256. Once we start eliminating people, then those PCs will free up, and I expect them to free up pretty quickly. So, and then VIP. VIP is going to be 150 euros, and I came to this number essentially just to kind of defend it. Is that the VIP ticket for Trackmania, I believe, was 80 euros, if I remember correctly. If
110,
not,
I'm pretty sure.
Was that 110? Okay, so dang.
Or
All
90
right, well,
if you bought it early or something. I don't remember.
but 150, and the reason why it's higher than Trackmania is because what we're offering, we believe, is much more valuable than what Trackmania ever had. For those who attended VIP or for those who didn't, VIP was on the second floor of the hotel in a little like big conference room area, completely empty, 2 couches, like 2 or 3 PCs, and they had like little crackers and a couple energy drinks, and that was their VIP experience. This one's a little bit more, I would say, private and intimate. Ooh, intimate. There's maybe there's two PC cubes meaning like they're just rooms. They're glass rooms with blinds and everything. Each room will have 4 PCs each. There will be a training room and a stream room. So the streaming PCs will be in one room, the training room will be in the other. So that way the streamers can scream and shout and interact with each other. And the training PCs will be for the VIPs who want to train in a more private setting.
But don't scream too loud, otherwise your German neighbor is gonna leave you. Like everyone that watches, that doesn't watch, like doesn't see the stream or anything. Like randomly, while we talked earlier, there was a tweet shown from Granati, and he got a bad letter from his neighbor. It was writing in all caps.
Jeden Tag das Gebrüller beim Englisch Socken nervt. Danke.
Yeah. That's so nice. I love it.
I mean, Granati spricht Deutsch, du Hurensohn. I mean, easy.
To be fair though, Granati doesn't even scream. Well, actually,
well, somebody clipped it, and he was yelling. He was screaming. It was funny. Yeah. So, but yeah, yeah, the VIP should be pretty good. Also, the backlot, it's like it's a semi outdoor area. Like artificial grass and like hangout couches. There should be like 2 monitors out there for viewing and everything. It'll just be a general hangout area. That's also the area that the VIPs will use for their private VIP after party area if they need to escape there. Because I assume there will be some VIPs who do not want to be mauled by people, especially if they're more well known in the community potentially.
Well, it sucks to be as big as Trilux because you can see him from the whole room no matter where you are. He can't run away. He can't hide in the masses.
Oh yeah, I guess I could mention that too. Well, it's not 100% planned, but never mind. I won't mention that. But Trilux is supposed to be coming, and the plan is to have a German stream available with Trilux. Not a Schweine Aim focus stream, but just a general German stream. And he'll be there in a room, but that isn't like 100% confirmed.
I think we can be glad to have him.
Yeah.
Funny how Shorty just leaked that Trilux was coming.
I didn't leak that he was coming. I was just saying that because I know that he likes, like, if he can, that he is gonna attend.
What if I said there's bigger streamers potentially than Trilux that are attending?
Ooh.
Oh, Amorant? No.
Riolo type 1 in chat?
Lime? Wait, what?
Scrappy?
Oh.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
there's some rattling that I've been told. So there's plans to have some people there.
Yeah, potentially even a German influencer.
If it's Chris, you have to spill me the tea afterwards because that may or may not motivate me a lot. Can I?
Yes.
I have guesses, but
Maybe. Yes.
No, I'm just pretending.
They like to wear a pink wig.
Eh?
That just throws it off even worse. Anyways, all right, let's move on. So yeah, make sure you get a ticket on the 28th. I don't know exactly when they're going to release on the 28th, probably 2 p.m. There'll be plenty of tickets. There is an limited amount of basic entry tickets. There's a little over 100 tournament tickets that are going to be available, and VIP tickets I will not tell you, but there are not that many. So if you want a VIP ticket, there's only going to be very few, because I cannot have more than a certain amount of VIPs that is invited plus purchasing VIPs. So I can only have a certain limit amount of those people, especially when I only have like 8 PCs to divvy out amongst them. We're probably going to have to do like a reservation type of system for the VIPs to make sure that everybody has their chance at a PC for the time that they need, especially influencers if they are attending. So yes. Import. There cannot be as many people who are as important as import. Yes. Thank you, forever.
All right, see ya forever.
Yeah, see ya forever.
Yep.
All right, bye. Banned. Okay, so speaking of XPEvo, there's also a reason why SBVille is on here, because SBVille is the director, producer of our stream that is going to be happening at XPEvo, which if I haven't said it already, I am extremely grateful for you to be willing to help us out and everything. For everybody who isn't aware already, all of us that are doing this for XPEvo are doing it for the passion of the community. We're not getting compensated for any of this. Any of the funds that go to the event go straight to the cost of the running the event, also the prize pool.
Wait, you aren't getting paid?
Are you saying you're getting paid, Chris?
I get a nice vacation in Cologne.
Really mad. Where's my
Wait
money?
a minute, you guys are getting paid? Good meme.
No, we're not getting paid.
Yeah, no, we're not getting paid, but that's fine, because we're literally getting a free venue with free PCs, with free rooms, with a lot of free stuff for free. So I think, at least from my perspective, the least I can do is do my due diligence. What am I trying to say? Doing my due diligence to the community, Trackmania community, and also the venue for providing this opportunity. Because what venue says, yeah, we'll let you run an event for free and we'll let you call the shots on how it's ran? That's almost unheard of. So, and the venue, they don't make that much money from, they don't make any money from their LAN area, because those LAN PCs, they're all free. You don't pay for access. You don't do anything like that. XPErion is straight up just marketing for Saturn Media Markt. So the fact that they're doing this for us is huge. So for me, like, I'm happy, and I'm always super grateful for those who dedicate their time, their free time, to help us make this possible. Like SBVille, who's coming all the way from Sweden.
Careful.
Was it?
Sweden.
Careful.
It's definitely Denmark.
Estonia?
Denmark.
Somewhere around there.
Lithuania.
Yeah. Lithuania, yes. Yeah, that was the one. Yeah. SBVille coming all the way from Finland to help us direct it. The stuff that he has already has planned and like his vision for it, I think aligns exactly with what I have envisioned for our stream. Because like I said previous about the World Cup and what and Nadeo has to accomplish for their World Cup, like we have to do the same for XPEvo. This is our first impression to those who did not attend the event, because if we have the opportunity to come back a following year and have a second XPEvo, like this first round is very important. Same for Trackmania. Trackmania was the exact same way. Trackmania was the first impression for a non-French LAN event that's accessible to the wider European and international community. It was very centralized, and it was a great success for despite only having 150, 160 people show up. Now we have the opportunity to expound on that with a new name, a new venue partner, and it could grow exponentially beyond that potentially. And next time around, I'm getting paid, and so is everybody else. But anyways, but for now,
have we leaked the prize pool yet?
I'm not allowed to leak the prize pool yet.
Ah, damn it!
But
I could say it's more than Trackmania's.
That is true.
So if you don't know what Trackmania's was, go look it up, and I can say it's more than that, exponentially. But yes,
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, so I mean, SBVille. Let's talk about the stream. Let's talk about what our vision is for it. Why don't you explain to the listeners and the viewers kind of what you had in mind, what your expectations are?
So I think a lot of the stuff we're going to do is expand on what happened at Trackmania. So basically, one of the main goals would be to fill in the break time a little bit more. It is a community event, so we want to kind of showcase as much of the community as possible as well. So we really want to make it like I think a celebration for the community in a way, while still keeping like super high quality casters that we have in, and also kind of try to like expand on the production a little bit more. I have Raveout joining me, who I've been working already with in the TMGL virtual show, and we learned a lot from there, which that had its own challenges because that was all done remotely, apart from like virtual and Janik doing the cast together. Otherwise, we were all in different countries, which provided some challenges. So I think like we learned a lot from that, and now we're going into the live event, which is exciting because there's a lot of new stuff there, and the XPEvo staff is also helping us out quite a bit. Are we lagging on the stream? Is it still going through?
Just a smidge. Let me refresh here.
Dropping half
We're not
my
only
frames. Thank you,
dropping
Vodafone.
gears.
I think we're back to stable.
I mean, we're good now.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, what I was saying is that the TMGL project that we did with virtual with Raveout was I think it was very different, obviously, from a live event production that we're going to do, but we still learned a lot, and we are sort of very comfortable working with each other now. And we also have Lore joining us with the audio side of things. So and then the XPEvo staff is super helpful, and I think they are very excited for the tournament as well. So I really think like it's a very sort of passionate group of people working on this, and I guess one of my main goals is to get the stream to reflect that passion and the appreciation for the community as well.
Yeah,
I'm being vague on purpose, so I don't reveal everything that we're going to do.
Right, yeah.
It's all strategic.
I think what we're doing, what we have planned, is definitely something that is going to be, regardless, a relatively, I don't know if I want to say major, but it's definitely going to be a what is the word I'm looking for?
An upgrade or
an evident improvement? An
Visible.
upgrade? Visible, thank you. That is the word I was looking for.
Noticeable.
Sichtbar. sichtbare Veränderung. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, but like it's definitely like a good visible change that I think that will occur, and I think with the casting lineup, yeah, of course, like it's not really changing except for me not really casting and New Lake coming in, which I felt like New Lake should have been at Trackmania. By the way, I tried to get him at Trackmania for those who didn't know that, but it just didn't work out. So I think New Lake coming in, and then me being able to just fully focus on being a host, I think is something that is going to be pretty exciting. And then also just like I think there's so many cool things production wise that are planned that if everything goes according to plan, it's going to be pretty dope. I think we're for working on essentially a free budget, essentially like we don't have a budget and we're doing it all with the resources that we have. I think the quality that we're going to bring is going to rival some. Well, it's gonna be whatever Nadeo produced. Let me tell you, it's gonna be better than that. So I think we're good. So
Not a very high bar, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
Sadly.
you know, I can say that with like 2 months to go, we have the like show mostly planned out already. So and we have a venue already. Imagine,
yeah.
Take notes.
Whoa.
Take notes, Nadia.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. At least we have the venue, right? Jeez. Yeah. So yeah, I'm super excited for SBVille to help us as well as Rave Out Lurai, MCYC, and
Oh yeah, MCYC.
yes.
I also should have mentioned already. We're gonna have some high quality video content, graphical sort of graphics stuff that we're gonna be able to use thanks to MCYC. Like if you guys have seen, for example,
His newest project.
yeah, and the like trailers in TMGL that were used, for example, like there was the Legends thing that was played on stage 1 of TMGL. MCYC is really good at kind of like doing these high quality video productions that I'm really excited to see how we can utilize that. I think there's a lot of ways to really make it seem like how would I even put it? It's kind of like sort of better quality than what people might expect from like a voluntary type project. I think we have a really, really good team, and we're going to be able to do this really professionally. Yeah, I guess professional is like that's a good word to use.
I'm already practicing my host announcer voice. I'm
yeah.
This time I won't say anything cringe. Maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, this time I won't say anything cringe.
Bro, that would be very pivotal of you.
That would be very pivotal of me. I looked at the day 3 introduction of the sponsors and everything, and I was like, yeah, Vibroacoustic, they're sponsoring this event, and like they're looking for people who have careers, and I think that's really fun for you guys. Like if you would do that, like kind of, I don't know what I was saying, but it was so like amateur. It was bad. Anyways, all right, I'm moving on with life.
From the cringe you learn, you know.
Yeah,
yes.
I was like, and 20 Black is sponsoring this event, and I think that's really cool. I'm like, why would I say that? What am I doing?
I mean, it's not wrong. It's true.
Like, what am I doing? Anyways, yeah, it was hopefully no cringe. See, if we have a teleprompter, we'll be great. I'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be with a sign, you know, with all the things that you have to say.
Please, can you just have like the? Could you line? I'm dead serious. If you would just have a sign of all the things I need to say, we're good. I will be fine.
And then I'm gonna be like, please.
I want to see that happen.
Oh,
people be laughing at M4. They'll be like, "It's scripted."
One night,
the crowd's just gonna be like, "It's scripted." Yeah. But
Anyways,
yeah, I'm excited. Actually, SBVille, since we're on this subject, could I do a monologue at the start, like a hype up monologue?
Yeah,
it's
do
gonna
it.
be like short.
I think it would be cool if I could do like a hype up monologue for the events.
Do you want some cinematic music on the background as well?
Yeah,
We could
yeah.
really make it
Actually,
like, you know.
I'm actually dead serious.
All right, let's do it. You know, let's do it. Let's do
I
it.
mean, let's do it. Why not?
I mean, you're the boss, right?
Yeah, I
You
try
don't
not to
ask,
flaunt
you
that.
demand.
I try not to flaunt that too much, otherwise people get angry. So I try to be somewhat humble. I'm never humble.
Nah.
Whenever there's something cringe happening, you can just go on a break and put a video.
Yeah.
So we skip.
You think it's a fun idea for once? What does that mean? Are you saying I never have fun ideas? So now for this one time, I now have a fun idea? What is this, Susan? Jeez.
I can tell that you've had quite a few fun ideas from what I've heard during this project. So just to give you a little bit of credit there.
We'll see if those fun ideas end up being fun after we're done.
We'll see.
But we'll see. Yeah. All right. Well, is there anything else you guys need to rant about or speak about?
Rant about. I could rant about a lot of things. But
I mean, true.
I'm just mad at Deutsche Bahn.
And the fact you don't have pizza.
Oh, I don't even remember.
Story
How's
time.
input, you're
Oh.
making it worse.
Shall I eat another piece?
It's story time with Shorty.
What is? Oh yeah, last week the podcast we delayed it again because of reasons, but almost we would have done a podcast, me doing the 1 hour monologue about keyboards, which Lime wanted. So let me just show you. This is my very big keyboard, which you can see, and I just want to show one thing.
It's so tiny.
It only has
There's
40
a 50%
keys,
in it.
but it's a 40%.
A 40,
And I
okay.
actually had a keyboard for a couple of months that was even less. It had like 36 keys only. But the really cool thing about this, you are wondering where, for example, are the numbers. There are little buttons left and right of the spacebar, and if I hold one of them down, I'm going into a different layer, and all of the keys on the keyboard have a different function now than on the base layer. And basically, that's how you get around having less keys.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, that's the mini version of keyboard stuff. It's amazing.
As a mapper, I feel like I would always miss the separate numpad. It's just so useful in Trackmania.
I have a specific layer only for Trackmania mapping.
Oh, that's pretty good.
See?
Yeah, you've thought of everything.
Yeah, I thought of everything. I have a layer for Trackmania. I have a layer for mapping. I mean, I don't really have an actual layer for mapping, but if I really wanted to, I could do that. I could do a simple I can change all the layers, and you can have different profiles. I can literally go in a different profile, and the layer is different. Like I have one profile where it's not QWERTY, but like a custom layer, like a custom layout of the keys, because QWERTY actually sucks. But yeah.
What?
It literally sucks, like on all fronts. Like like the layout of like where each letter is. Like it's just basically more or less random. There are different theories on why it's this certain layer this way. Probably the most likely one is because of typewriters, and they had to make sure that the letters that are often typed don't go over each other, because it was all physical, and if you press them too quickly to each other, they could just bounce into the physical thing. And they just kept that layout since then. And there are different people that invested time and spent and developed different layouts. But if you already learned QWERTY, learning a new keyboard layout obviously takes a lot of time. And
Yeah,
the
learning
only
the German one, and Like you still keep missing the Y and B or C. I don't know which one it
Y
is.
and Y and Z, yeah, that they are turned around. But yeah, just like the only thing QWERTY actually is good at is basically the speed, because the speed doesn't, like, you don't get faster with a new layout, but it's way more ergonomic. Like if you have, for example, bad wrists, kind of like me, if you work in an office, then something like that maybe is worth it. But it's it's an interesting rabbit hole to go down, like at 3 a.m. in the night if you're drunk. Just watch a video about that. That's the type of content it is, but it's not actually worth it. Like you don't have to learn a new layout.
Let's say for XPEvo after party talk.
Did you guys want to have
Everyone
a podcast
has
at
to-
XPEvo?
We talk about it and we
We
said
talked about this.
yes.
Yeah.
That we wanted to have the podcast at XPEvo. Maybe we
Go.
can invite someone, you know.
I mean, we'll be there, Wednesday, Thursday? So if we want to do it Thursday, we could be there. You guys would have to be. I'm going to be there Thursday. SBVille.
I think I'm gonna get
fine.
there in Thursday and then I'm gonna leave on.
Yeah, we will see about that. It's difficult.
But depends. How much money? But
Money
I'm
isn't the
working
issue.
for it.
It's the normal Jugendschutzgesetz things, Susan. Show us the Tails body pillow. No, there's no Tails body pillow. I just have Knuckles. Like, I don't know if you were reading in the chat, but this plushie, which I had, freaks me out now that I realize it, is about 20 years old. This is a 20-year-old Knuckles plushie.
I had a plushie of Pikachu, but I have no idea where it's gone to now.
I actually have a Poro that I brought
have
from
a
my
Poro?
house from Chile.
I have
Wait.
2 Poros. I have both. I got one at this one I got at Worlds, SKT versus Samsung Galaxy when it was in LA, and I got this one at the LCS studio. Oh, I've gotten one of those before too. The
And I have many
styrofoam one?
many of those figurines, but I don't know where they are. So I
This
have
20 years
Elsa
old
for
is not-
Frozen,
this is not the price tag.
Queen. I love her.
This is not a price tag forever.
This is never.
It's literally just like normal plushies have
wait.
tags on them.
You know what
Back in
is
the
it?
day.
Import.
They're collector tags. Yes, I do. It's Bard's little thingy majigger. Yeah.
Yeah, I have
The
many
little
figurines
chime
at home,
things.
but now it's. I couldn't bring them. Oh, what?
Yes,
That's not a
roasted
Windows
room.
logo. That is a table tennis things, like a table tennis table, and
I
two.
can't unsee the Windows logo. I'm sorry.
It's the Windows
Man,
logo.
I never thought of it, but now that you say it, oh, I
You'll
never
never
unsee
be.
that myself.
You'll never unsee that now.
No.
Thanks,
Fuck.
Chris. That's great. Also, how would you play table tennis? Do you even like table tennis?
What do
Wait,
you
this is
mean?
not this is not your original
what-
room though, right?
What do you
So-
mean? Do I even like table tennis? Wait, wrong direction. Do I like table tennis? Do you see the things up there? I like table
Oh.
tennis. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so all right, Mr. Olympics, where's the Olympic medal? I'm missing that one.
The thing is, I got older, and now I'm shit.
Have you hold up? Have you not seen the people who play tennis, table tennis at the Olympics? They're like in their 40s. You're saying you're old?
No, it's literally only Timo Boll that is in his 40s, and he's an outlier. Like, most table tennis pros are like in their 20s, maybe early 30s, but most table tennis pros like stop in the 30s, at least like the actual pros. But yeah, I have been at a big like worldwide cup in Germany as a volunteer once.
There's a
You could have
question
seen
in
me in the
chat for
TV.
Shorty.
How many?
It's from Pally. How many second places have you had in table tennis?
That's a good question. I don't have a really good answer for that. Quite a few, to be honest. Obviously,
you can
right?
go and check now.
I only remember one thing, like in the adult, like once I started playing in the adult leagues, there was one player I've always lost against him in the final for like I think 3 times in a row, and only in the 4th time I finally beat him in the final, and that was the last time I played in that league, because afterwards I started playing in the one after like higher than that. But I specifically continued playing in that league until I finally won against him.
Jesus.
Good dedication.
Yeah, the problem is I hurt my wrist like 2 years ago, and since then, table tennis is just a little like I still play it, but not as active as before. Like I switched, fine, whatever, you know, the people I play with, I switched, and I like started trying like really hard, and I actually started getting like decent again. But yeah, pro tip: don't injure your wrist if you are a table tennis player. It's kind of important for the
So
the
this is like
sport.
the same with the footballers, you know, that you hear sometimes the stories, oh yeah, I was a good football player until I fucked up my knee and then I had to stop.
Yeah, well, the football
Or
is
with the wrist.
pretty likely to happen because it's a contact sport, and you know.
Yeah, with the wrist is so...
Could you imagine that I played football for 18 years and then nothing came of it?
But American football?
No.
I mean, you don't have to
European
play.
football.
You don't have to play a
Oh,
sport
yeah.
simply to like get better. You can just do it for fun. Like you don't have to get the
Fun?
best at
Okay,
it.
listen, as an American, fun is not allowed, all right? When it comes to actual physical
Number
sport, fun
one.
is not allowed. I'm either number 1 or nothing at all right?
Number one in freedom.
Yes.
And the eagle sound.
Back-to-back World War champions, all right? Listen. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
That doesn't translate to gaming then?
Oof.
Do you have the same level of like competitiveness in games as well?
And video games? Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see him play Trackmania already? Man, if he would actually compete in TMWT, he would win everything. Like
Surely.
he's
Oh, yeah.
only like it's only a curiosity of him that he doesn't compete.
No, like you should have seen me, especially when I played League of Legends a lot. Like I would get so overly competitive. Some might call it toxic, but yeah, competitive is the word we're going to use here. So, but yeah, and Trek, like especially like now, the competitive drive is not really there as much. I still am competitive, but to the point where it's like I realize that to be able to keep up with everybody, I have to train like twice as long to be able to like actually be competitive at a higher level. So
Yeah, that's kind of the issue, and like one of the problems, like I've been speedrunning a long time, and Trackmania kind of goes into that if you're like hunting world records especially. Like probably the biggest reason why I've seen people quit is that they just can't afford to like put in insane hours into the game anymore. And it's not that they don't have the time or motivation to play, it's just that they don't have like the grind anymore. They can't really do it anymore, and what that results in is that your level just drops really quickly because your muscle memory just can't keep up anymore, and then they just quit because it sucks to know that you could be better, but you just can't get there anymore. So it's like, especially in Shootmania, where like it's a very small community, but like the high level speedrunners in Shootmania are like super dedicated. And there's been so many players who just straight up just give up. They just quit the game entirely when they notice that, okay, I can't afford to play like 5-6 days anymore. It just doesn't, a week. It just doesn't work anymore. You just can't really maintain the level, and then it just, the feeling kind of gets lost.
So okay, Trackmania, yes. But Lime, I don't know if you've experienced this, but I picked up League of Legends recently again. And I'm actually better now than what I ever was.
You know, that happens to me also when I stop playing games or doing many
Mhm.
things in general. For example, okay, I'm a professional, right? But I also paint.
You're a
I
professional
also
what?
draw.
You cut
I
out.
also do like
You're a professional what? You cut out.
photographer.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes I just quit many things. You know, like I want to paint for this month, yes, and then I stop painting for like a year, and then I come back, and then I'm way better than I was before. What that happens? I don't know, but it happened to also with it also happens with Trackmania. I literally stopped playing Trackmania for 4 months, like recently, and then I'm start playing again, and I don't really consider myself that I start losing my level, but otherwise I am way better than I was before. Why does that happen? I have no idea, but I
I have
really
a theory.
appreciate it.
I have a theory because this happens a lot to people. Actually, it has happened to me as well when I've taken some breaks from games. I think what's happening is that you kind of like lose your muscle memory during that time when you're taking a break, and your muscle memory isn't all correct, right? Like you have some bad habits as well. And what happens is you lose those bad habits as well that you might not even know you're doing. Like maybe you're doing like a thing where you're like looking at the wrong place on the screen in Trackmania or something, and then when you come back into that game, you've completely like forgot how you used to play, and you kind of relearn it, and then you start picking up good habits instead of the bad habits, and then you kind of build upon that. And I think actually, like I've noticed that a lot of players when they take breaks, they come back stronger, and I think it's exactly because of this.
Yeah, you're coming fresh. And the learning experience or the learning curve is way faster without making as many mistakes as you did before. I think that happened to me. I mean, I'm not in a professional level, or anything.
No, it does
I'm not
make
even good at the game,
a lot of sense. It does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, but it makes
For me, Trackmania, like my skill has gone way down compared to like early 2022. Because early 2022, I was playing the game so much, like I was getting like average. We'll use Cup of the Day as a litmus test, even though it's a terrible one. Like I was getting average like Div 3 to 5, I would say, which isn't like, obviously it's not great, but it's not the worst either. And now I'm just like, a Cup of the Day comes around, I'm too slow to pick up the map, and like I mean Div 5 to 10, it could go anywhere from that range. It's pretty bad, but yeah, like Trackmania wise. But then League of Legends, which is like completely random, I was like some low gold scrub that like that was hard stuck. Now I'm like almost diamond. Like it's kind of crazy how just quitting the game for like 6 months at a time and then coming back and like I immediately improve. Like when I play League, it's like riding a bicycle. I pick it up and like, yeah, there may be patch changes or whatever, but I can adapt within like 1 or 2 games. Just crazy.
With League, I think the year when I had to write my thesis for university was the year that I picked performance League. I was low platinum, and that was it. I never recovered from that. Every year I keep going down and down and down and down. And I was like, what happened to me? I used to be so good at this game, and now I was like, nope, it's just not happening.
Totally random thought, though. Oh, wait. Oh, you cut out again, line.
I've been cutting out, and I don't know. This mic. I need a new mic. Someone's sponsor.
Sure. I got you. I'll send you mine. But no, a random thought, and SBVille, this is actually a question for you, and then we'll wrap it up here pretty soon here because it's already almost been 2 hours, which is kind of crazy. Is and it's kind of off topic. It's on topic for Trackmania, but off topic. How it's about dedication. So how can you explain the thought process of how somebody can play Kacky? How somebody can continue to play a basically RNG, it's not RNG, but like RNG essentially map for hours to get a result.
So I think there's multiple reasons. I don't know, like I think for a lot of streamers, for example, it's just that the views are good, so you just put yourself through it. You don't really care about like what it takes. You just go through it. But I do think a lot of streamers, like Virtual, genuinely like really want to finish the maps as well. And I think like if I think of myself, which I'm not really like a person who just grinds like the entire season and tries to finish the hardest maps, but when it comes to like validating a map, it's kind of like a mix of the feeling that maybe it's the next run, and you don't know if it's the next run unless you do the next run, and then the cycle kind of just slopes. And I think in Kacky, in the season itself, it helps that the map rotation is pretty fast at the end of the day. So it's like 10 minutes playing one map, and then it's like, okay, where's the next map? Let's try. Maybe I can finish this one. I couldn't finish the previous one. Maybe I can finish this one. And then you kind of have the cycle of maybe it's the next run on this map, but then also, okay, maybe it's not this map, maybe it's the next map. And then you kind of get stuck in this loop in like multiple different ways. But I think in another sense also, it's when I'm validating a map, for example, it's just the feeling that you have some like unfinished business, which is really annoying. Like if I were to just say like, okay, I can't validate this map, like then what? Then I just leave it in my folders forever. Like I would be thinking about that all the time after that. It's just like you need to get it finished so that all the work you've put into that map, it does not go to waste. And it's a bit of like there's like a name for the sunken cost fallacy. Like you just don't want to have all the time you put into it go to waste. And then your map might not get picked even for the competition, so that's another thing. But yeah, I think it's hard to say as well, because I think there's people who just genuinely chill through Kacky. They just kind of enjoy playing those maps, and they enjoy the sort of like hype that getting close attempts or finished attempts gives them. I think one thing also that the Kacky crew has been pushing this year, especially the one sort of like thing that they're trying to get through to people, is that Kacky is not supposed to be torture. The maps are not supposed
Are you
to
sure?
be like... Yeah, I'm sure. Well, their words, not mine, but I kind of agree as well. I think...
you kind of agree as well. How many hours did it take you on your first map to validate it? How many hours?
If you mean the magnet map, that was 64 hours or something.
That was your first Kacky. That was different. That's fine. You learned from experiences. But I mean, your first map this season.
This season, that was 12 hours. But actually, I enjoyed that map. I think this is a good mapper's test. That if while grinding your map you get bored of your map, then just remake it. It's not a good map, because if you can't stand to grind your own map, how's anyone else gonna stand to grind it? Like, it needs to pass the test of being exciting until the very end. So, to me, I enjoyed the map. I would play it more, honestly. I'll probably try to get it in the event as well, because I think it's a cool map and it's kind of enjoyable. There's like a good balance of like easier tricks, and then also a little bit harder tricks that are still like fair. Like you can line up for the tricks on both of my maps that I built actually, and it's mainly like skill based. There's no like a feeling of the map being unfair to you, because you ultimately control everything. It's just that the things to control are too precise to get consistently, but it's still like a level of focus that matters there, which I think is cool. So I think like for a lot of Kacky maps, this is kind of true. I think there are like bad Kacky maps as well. Like we have some maps where essentially like there's no mechanical skill involved. Like you might be just holding like press forward and maybe you press like one right input. And then the map is like insanely difficult. So you do this press forward, one right input, press forward, one right input. You do it over and over and over again. That's just not interesting. I think there needs to be like a mechanical challenge there that makes it interesting for the players as well. I don't think it's only about having the map as difficult as possible. It's kind of like making it feel like finishing the map actually matters. And if you're super bored of the map, if you don't care about the map at all, then it's not gonna feel so great to finish it. So I think what they're trying to do for this season is trying to like tone the average difficulty of a Kacky map down, so that there's no maps that require this sort of like driving into a wall reset for like 15 hours. And, you know, like you just don't want that kind of an experience. You want to have like Trackmania gameplay still, ultimately. So, yeah, I think Kacky is a little bit misunderstood in some sense. It's really not supposed to be like the event itself is probably supposed to have those like painful moments where you're just barely not finishing a map. You're like turtled on the finish line and you're just not getting in there. But I think like ultimately the event should be fun. It should like encourage you to play more, and I think they're gonna succeed at that as well. I think they have a really good idea of what Kacky should be, and I mean it's already super popular. Even if the previous seasons have had maybe a little bit harder maps and maybe some maps that maybe in my opinion aren't that great. So yeah, I think it speaks of the competition's value that there's still like thousands and thousands of people who do push themselves to finish at least one or two maps.
Yeah.
I mean,
Actually, I think one thing that you didn't mention fully is maybe it actually helps a lot of players that for once in Trackmania it's not about getting the fastest or the best time, but simply about finishing or not finishing. Which motivational wise it's nice because you can chill while playing Kacky. You don't have to be like fully 100% there. You can just sit sideways and chill or something like that. Like if I would try hunting a world record, I couldn't sit like this and just stare at the screen like you can't hunt a world record like that. But with Kacky you can play like that fully. Like no problem with that. And that's maybe something that motivates players. But anyway, I myself haven't been able to find the fun in playing Kacky, but obviously it's very popular and I like the concept of it. I really enjoyed trying to build a Kacky map myself this time, which I think nobody really has seen yet, but I will validate it live as well, like you did, Wille, and then we will see if it has a chance or not. But I think Kacky also, apart from being very popular, is from the mapper's point of view is really nice because you have so many things that you can build in Kacky that outside of Kacky would have no place anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
You can experiment with stupid strategies. You can try and find and break the physics. And the only thing you could maybe do with those kind of things is just be like, hey, look at like. Go on Reddit or Twitter and be like, hey, look at what I found out you can do in Trackmania, and people would like, oh, that's amazing, but they would never actually play it. That's where Kacky is working.
That's actually true that the like showcase aspect of Kacky is like super valuable, even if you don't care about Kacky at all, because seeing these like crazy creative ideas that they have, it's mind-blowing sometimes what people find in this game. I mean, the nose tube thing that I found, that was a complete accident, but like people are already like, what is that? I had like very experienced Kacky players come to me and say like, what is going on? What is this thing?
Yeah, it looks really cool. It really is cool.
There's a clip on Twitter if you want to bring it up for context, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, clips are difficult because obviously the people listening from Spotify is a little bit difficult.
That's true.
But
that's true.
I mean, basically, if we try to explain it, if the car from Trackmania has like forward momentum, but it's on its front wheels and is like standing up 90%, like 90 degrees perfectly, and you keep holding brake and acceleration, it sometimes stays on its nose a little bit. And basically imagine the car staying on its nose while just doing a looping or like multiple sideways. Kind of like that, maybe? I don't know if you can
So
explain it
that
better.
was it.
The thing is that I have no idea what's going on there. It's even crazier because it actually doesn't even require like specific inputs. You can
Yeah,
hold
you don't even.
acceleration.
I
or
just saw
you
you don't even hold
yeah.
brake for some reason. Like,
No, you
why?
do need to hold brake, but that's the only thing you need to hold. You can do like directional inputs, and it just keeps going. It's really like wild
yeah,
how
okay.
consistent it is. It just somehow works.
There's a
But,
gigantic
yeah.
fly on my spotlight. That's annoying. Sorry.
I'm really interested to see what people say about mine, because apart from a single map from Dragon, because I showed him how it works, I think no map ever used what I'm using. Apart from a Kacky map that Dragon also sent in. I should not have shown Dragon this strategy.
Unlucky.
You should have copyrighted.
We will see. Maybe people find it lame. I don't care. Maybe someone else. Maybe Dragon made a better map of it. I don't care. But at least people know about it now. We will see.
All right.
Pretty usable, actually.
Well, I think we can end it here. Lime, you're on Reddit, right?
Reddit?
Yeah.
Oh.
I am, but under false name.
No,
Yeah.
I'm actually I'm not a Reddit person at all.
Then you have no idea what our place is. But anyways, right now they're trying to make a massive Deutsche Bahn logo, and it's kind of funny. So it's
I
like,
think last time we
ha.
had a small Trackmania somewhere.
We did have a small Trackmania somewhere, and I'm wondering
Wait, they're
where the
doing
Trackmania people are.
the put 1 pixel stuff?
Yeah, they're doing that right now.
Oh, I did that last year.
Yeah,
I mean, I
they're doing
helped
it
with
again.
the Chilean flag and fighting the Frenchies.
Yes,
I
well,
think they're not doing it this year because Reddit is garbage.
Yeah.
Because of, fuck Spez.
Yeah, but we have a Trackmania Reddit.
Yeah.
Fuck Spez.
I just think it's so funny that they're trying to make a massive Deutsche Bahn logo.
Yeah, I hate Deutsche Bahn, but you can send it my way or in the chat.
The thing is,
Can
there was
put
this
1
massive
pixel.
like turkey flag, and now the Deutsche Bahn logo is consuming the turkey flag. It's great. All right, so thank you guys. Thank you SBVille. Thank you Shorty. Thank you Lime. I think we're gonna end it here because we're about 2 hours in. I think this is a good place to stop. But yeah, thank you guys, especially SBVille for showing up.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, sorry for a little bit last minute, like, hey, can you join? But
Hey, no worries, no worries.
But I appreciate you being willing to hop on with us and talk to us, chat with us a bit. Lime and Shorty, as always, thank you for showing up as well. Last week was my fault, by the way. I admit full fault. I was with family, so that's why we didn't have an episode this last week. But will we have an episode this week? I have no idea.
The weekly podcast for everyone.
Yeah.
It's a reality now.
So we'll see. Hopefully next week we'll have a podcast now. Next week. But thank you guys so much for showing up. We'll be back maybe some point. We'll let you know on Twitter. Take easy. Make sure you get your XPEvo tickets on July 28th. I better see you all there. And you guys have a good rest of your day. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.